Today we are taking up liability insurance. Liability insurance. The liability insurance is one segment of non-motor which includes number of policies. It's a vertical where number of policies are there, and most of them have the statutory liability. Now let us see what does liability means. Liability means the responsibility. Responsibility one person has towards another in the society. This is called liability. Now what kind of responsibility? How responsibility arises? So this responsibility is arising out of the law or statutes, means the law of the land. Rights demand responsibilities too. Awareness about rights is also necessary. As the society progresses, litigation increases. Say today, suppose you don't understand what is liability, it's okay. But the day you understand what is liability and what is the law, how it arises, that day you will feel you have the awareness about this. And the day you will feel you have the awareness about it, and then in that case, whenever you feel somebody is creating nuisance for me, you will definitely feel for the litigation. So that way, as the society progresses, litigation increases. Now what is legal liability? Legal liability means responsibility when it becomes legal. So legal plus responsibility. The legal responsibility to pay for the damages resulting. How it is? A mistake. Liability insurance, there has the core ingredients, like there has to be a mistake. Mistake by way of negligence or by inappropriate action. Sometimes by inappropriate actions also, you are infringing the right of others. And by mistake also. So loss because of the mistake, what kind of loss could be there? Bodily injury, property damage, financial loss, because of the mistake. If it is there, means bodily injury is there, property damage is there, or financial loss is there. In that case, third party claim for that loss within the policy period will arise. And that would become the legal liability under this policy. So this liability segment has two kinds of policies. Two kinds of policies means one relate to the casualty lines and second relate to the financial lines. Policies of casualty lines have to compensate for third party bodily injury and property damage claims. All policies belonging to casualty lines are liable to pay for third-party bodily injury and property damage claims. These policies could be public liability industrial risk, public liability non-industrial risk, commercial general liability risk, and product liability risk. These policies are known as the casualty line policies, where the compensation for bodily injury and property damage is paid. Another section relates to the financial lines. Policies under this category are liable to pay for third-party financial losses. Third-party financial losses. What kind of policies are there? Professional indemnity for doctors, professional indemnity for hospitals, directors and officers policy, cyber liability policy, cyber crime policy. These are the policies which are directly compensating the third party by way of financial compensation. So these two lines are there, casualty line and financial lines. Under casualty lines, compensation is paid for bodily injury and property damage. Under financial lines, the compensation is paid for financial losses. So this is a broad classification of the liability insurance policies. Now the concept of AOA and AOY. The AOA and AOY concept means the liability under the liability policies is decided according to any one accident limit and any 1 year limit. And both of these limits are selected by the insured at the time of taking the policy. This AOA and AOY are also known as the sum insured of the policy. In other words, you can call them as limit of liability, limit of indemnity, sum insured, or any 1 year, or in the aggregate, or total limits. So this is the terminology used for these AOA and AOY. But basically, AOA is the maximum liability of the insurer for all claims arising out of all accidents during the policy period. And AOA means AOY, any 1 year, or in the aggregate total limits, any 1 year is the maximum liability of the insurer for all claims. Any 1 accident means each occurrence per claim limit. How it is? Any 1 accident is the maximum liability of the insurer for all claims arising out of single event. But in liability policies, 4 kinds of ratios are provided. Insured has to select a ratio according to the liability selected by him. And the prevalent ratios are 1 is equal to 1, 1 is equal to 2, 1 is equal to 3, 1 is equal to 4. What does it refers to? It refers to 1 stands for any 1 accident limit, and the next part 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 stands for any 1 year limit. So both of these have to be selected by the insured himself. These ratios represents amounts and not the number of times of accidents. I repeat, these ratios represents amounts and not the number of time of accidents. I give you an example. AOA and AOY selected by the insured is 1 is equal to 2. Now what does this 1 is equal to 2 means? Any 1 accident limit is 1. And suppose that amount in terms of money is 50 lakh rupees. This is any 1 accident limit. It means in any 1 accident, the maximum liability of insurance company is 50 lakh rupees. Then what is for the AOY? AOY ratio is 2. That means that is automatically doubled. So the any 1 year limit of the insurance company would be 100 lakh rupees. Means 1 crore. Now this is the liability selected by the insured. Then how the claims will be settled? See 3 best examples are given. In situation 1, 3 claims of INR 3 lakh each. All claims are payable subject to deductibility. Why? AOA limit is 1, AOY limit is 2, AOA limit is 50 lakh rupees, AOY limit is 1 crore rupees. There are 3 claims of 30 lakh rupees each. Means total claim payable are 90 lakh and 1 claim is not more than 30 lakh rupees. So neither the AOA limit is crossed nor AOY limit is crossed. All 3 claims are payable subject to policy deductibles. This is situation 1. Under situation 2, 4 claims of INR 30 lakh each. 4 claims. Means what will happen? 3 claims are fully payable. 30, 30, 30 means 90 lakh. Total limit is 100 lakh. So 3 claims of 30, 30, 30 lakhs are fully payable, subject to deductibles. But 4th is payable until AOY exhausts. So means what is the limit left out after paying 3 claims of 30 lakh rupees? Only 10 lakh rupees. So under the 4th claim only 10 lakh rupees will be paid because the entire sum insured is exhausted. Situation 3. One claim of INR 75 lakhs. Only one claim during the policy period. So what will happen? The claim is payable only to the limit of rupees 50 lakhs subject to deductibles. There is only single claim, and the maximum liability under any one accident is 50 lakh rupees only. So against the claim of 75 lakh rupees, company will pay only 50 lakh rupees. That is all. So under these three different circumstances, this is the way how AOA and AOY limit will play the role to settle the claims. Now what are the deductibles under the policy? Deductibles means compulsorily deductible amount under the policy. Say suppose claim amount is 50 lakh rupees. As per policy, deductible is 10 lakh rupees. That means insurance company will pay only 40 lakh rupees because the deductible would be 10 lakh rupees that is deducted. So this is called policy deductible. Then comes territory. Territory means geographical region within which the claim incident must occur. Where the incident has taken place, that is called territory. It may be at the insured premises, it may be in the insured same state, it may be in the other states. So wherever it is, that geographical region would be called territory. Next is jurisdiction. Jurisdiction means geographical region where a claim can be filed in the court. This statutory liability is decided by the court of law. So where the case will be filed for the compensation, that is called jurisdiction. Which court has the jurisdiction? Options available for territory and jurisdictions are multiple, because this is also selected by the insured at the time of taking the policy. Option could be India, option could be worldwide, not preferable by SGI. SGI is normally not giving. Then worldwide excluding US and Canada. So these three different options are available. How these three options will work? Let us understand. This is an example. In this example, one tourist comes to India from USA and a claim incident occurs here. Later he goes back to USA and files a claim against the insured in the USA. Problem is this much only. One tourist came from USA. Here, some incident occurred. He may have suffered bodily injury, financial loss, or property damage, whatever. He did nothing here as long as he was in India. When he went back to USA, he filed a claim against the insured in the USA court. Now what will happen? See, this is the situation. If the insured has selected territory and jurisdiction, according to that only the claim will be settled. Suppose insured has selected territory as India and jurisdiction as India. In that case, the claim will be rejected because the incident has happened in India, but jurisdiction is also India. He has filed the case in the court of USA. So there is no liability. Suppose the insured has selected the worldwide territory and worldwide jurisdiction. In that case, incident has happened in India, so it is covered either in India or worldwide under both. Jurisdiction is also selected as worldwide. It means the sufferer can file the case in any court of law. So here the claim is payable. Court will decide in his favor because worldwide jurisdiction is there. In third instance, territory is selected as India. Okay, still the case is covered because the incident has taken place in India only. And the jurisdiction selected by the sufferer is worldwide. In that case, he is right. because incident has taken place in India. He has filed the case in the court of USA. USA court has got the jurisdiction, so the liability is payable. And fourth example, the territory selected is India. Jurisdiction is worldwide but excluding US and Canada. So sufferer has filed the case in US court, that is excluded, it means there is no liability. That is how the cases of liability are decided. Here the insurance period, policy period and retroactive date, three different terms are used in liability policies. Insurance period means period from policy inception date of the first policy to policy expiry date of current policy, provided the coverage is uninterrupted. Insurance period, not the policy period. This is insurance period from first policy to the current policy. Then what is policy period? Policy period means the period of current policy only. Suppose this policy has started from 1st January to 31st December. This is called policy period. So what is the difference between insured period and policy period? Insurance period may be started 3 years back. So suppose the firm is taking the policy since 2021. So 2021, 22, 22, 23, 24, 25. This is called insurance period. Policy period is 24, 25 only. Then what is retroactive date? The date at which the insured took the policy for the first time and has been continuously covered. So this is also the beginning date of the insurance period in claims paid policy. This covers the retroactive period also. Since then the policy has started. One more thing, extended reporting period or discovery period. In certain policies, the cover is discontinued. The insured can report claims arising from acts committed within policy period or within the extended reporting period. Both options are there. Say for example, ABC Limited has been buying policy incepting January 1, 2010 for the last 3 years. It may be 2020 or 2021. So last 3 years the policy is continued without a break with the extending period of 30 days. His policy expires on December 31st, 2010. He does not buy a policy thereafter. A claim is reported on the January 15, 2010. It is covered. Since the policy has 30 days extended reporting period, the claim is payable. Though the policy is expiring on December 31st, but 30 days extended period is there. And within that 30 days, on January 15, the claim is filed. So it is covered. So this is in addition to the policy period. Retro period means the previous period plus policy period and then plus discovery period. All these things are included. Policy can be issued on claim made and reported basis. Now, claim made policy means loss occurring during period of insurance, but claim being first made during policy period are covered. Say for example, loss occurred on May 5, 2009. Claim first reported on May 10, 2010. So retroactive date started from January 1, 2009. Policy renewal date is January 1, 2010. And policy expires on December 31st, 2010. So this is the policy period basically, January 1, 2010 to December 31st, 2010. And the claim is filed within this period, May 10, 2010. While the loss has occurred 1 year before, May 5, 2009. Still the claim is paid. Why? Because claims made and reported is within the period of insurance. This entire period will be called as period of insurance. This is policy period and the total one is period of insurance. Occurrence-based claims. Occurrence-based means occurrence-based policy, loss occurring during the policy period, claims reported within the policy period, or thereafter any time in future are covered. How it is? Say loss occurred on May 5, 2010, but the claim reported 1 year after, May 10, 2011. The first policy date starts January 1, 2010. Policy expiry December 31st, 2010. This is policy period only. Means the policy is new one. So even during this, the claim is not reported while the incident has taken place. If on any future date it is reported and policy is renewed, still the claim is payable. Now there are certain policies under this category which are available with us. Professional indemnity insurance for doctors, errors and omissions for medical establishments, professional indemnity insurance for engineers, architects, interior decorators, chartered accountants, financial accountants and management consultants, lawyers, advocates, solicitors and counsels. They all can have the professional indemnity policy. Then comes Public Liability Insurance Act only, Public Liability Insurance Industrial, Public Liability Insurance Non-Industrial, Product Liability Insurance and Commercial General Liability Insurance. Here this C and this F, this stands for financial lines and casualty lines. Financial lines means where the financial compensation has to be paid. Casualty lines means where the amount has to be paid for bodily injury and property damage. So these are the total policies. Now what is the applicability of these policies? Say suppose some product defect is there. Example, accident due to a faulty tire killing the driver. Accident due to a faulty tire that killed the driver. Now under which public liability policy this claim is payable? So here the product is defective. Product was tire. Due to that faulty tire, the driver killed. So this claim is payable only under the product liability and commercial general liability policy. Commercial general liability is a policy which is including two policies, product liability and public liability. So under these two policies only this claim is payable. Another example, operations. Guest slips on wet floor in hotel and break his leg. In a hotel, one guest was staying, he slipped from the wet floor and his leg is broken. Under which liability policy this claim is payable? Professional indemnity for engineers, reconstruction and other financial losses only. Because this is related to the hotel. Hotel is for engineers or for reconstruction purposes only. Third example, leakage of poisonous gas, hazardous gas. What happened due to leakage of poisonous gas? Death of people in surrounding. People died. Under which policy this claim is payable? Public Liability Insurance Act and Public Liability or Commercial General Liability. Because Commercial General Liability also includes Public Liability. Another example, wrong treatment by doctor. What happened due to wrong treatment? Wrong treatment by doctor lead to death of the patient. Because of the wrong treatment, the patient died. So which policy will pay the claim? Professional indemnity for doctors or professional indemnity for hospitals. So that is how the liability is determined under each separate policy. Now I give you certain examples of the liability insurance policies. You must have heard about the Bhopal gas tragedy. By that time the Public Liability Act was not there. This Bhopal gas tragedy took place on the night of 2nd December 1984. There was a firm called Union Carbide India Limited. This was a pesticide plant at Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. It is considered among the world's worst industrial disaster. What happened? Over 5 lakh people were exposed to methyl isocyanate gas, which is a highly toxic substance made its way into and around the small towns. So almost 5 lakh people suffered due to leakage of the gas on the 2nd December 1984 night from the Union Carbide India Limited. That is the worst tragedy. So by that time the Public Liability Act was not there. This is only, the Act came into the existence on 1991, while this tragedy happened in 1984. Compensation was paid by the courts, by the governments, but the Act came later. So base coverage, that is Public Liability Insurance Act Policy 1991, provides immediate relief to the persons affected by the accident occurring while handling any hazardous substance and for matters connected therewith. So this is covered under Act Liability Policy only. Now, who needs the Public Liability Act policy? All those entities who are dealing in manufacturing process, manufacturing, processing, treatment, packaging, storage, transportation of hazardous material can be approached for Public Liability Act policy. Because the statutory liability is there. So what is the provision of Public Liability Act? The limit of liability has to be selected. Suppose this liability is selected as AOA and AOY as 1 is equal to 3. So 1 is equal to means where any one accident minimum has to be equal to the paid up capital, and maximum can be rupees 5 crore. So irrespective of a paid up capital, therefore the upper limit for AOA and AOY is 5 crore is equal to 50 crore. All premises will be covered, transportation will be covered, deductibles is nil. Trigger is occurrence, but no application for relief shall be entertained unless it is made within 5 years. How the premium is calculated? On turnover basis, paid up capital basis, limit of indemnity and group of substances. Composition of premium would be risk premium plus environment relief fund premium, equal amount. So this is the Public Liability Act. Here the limits of compensation are very less because these are pretty old. For death, only 25,000 rupees per person plus medical expenses up to 12,500. For injury, only 12,500. For total permanent disability, 25,000. So these limits are very old. Even property damage is 6,000 only. This is Public Liability Policy. Now this Public Liability Policy, 1 or 2 interesting examples I tell you. Say suppose this is a Bhopal cinema tragedy. This is a real tragedy. It took place on 13 June 1997. In Delhi, there is a Bhopal cinema in Green Park, Delhi. So 3 to 6 p.m. was the show. Movie was Border. One of the worst fire tragedies took place when 59 people died due to suffocation. 103 were seriously injured in the resulting stampede. When the case was filed, 25 crore compensation was paid to the relatives and families of the victims in the case. Now considered a breakthrough in civil compensation law in India. So because at that time the Public Liability Act was there. So according to the act, the courts decided the compensation and 25 crore rupees compensation was paid. Another major incident, public liability industrial, Jaipur terminal fire. In Indian Oil Depot on 29th October 2009, there was fire. In this fire, 11 persons were died. Terminal was closed. Fire continued for 11 days. All the tankers of petrol or diesel were blown into the fire. So here again the compensation for 11 fatalities were paid. Another example of product liability, crop damage of farmers due to use of insured product, pesticides. Suppose the pesticides is defective and that has caused the loss. So insured filed the case and the compensation paid was 72 lakh rupees. One more example, IT company office gutted by fire due to defective batteries and UPS. The company claimed 5.2 crore and that was paid. And recently, there was a case against the Maggie. It was said that Maggie has the lead para and this is unsafe to eat. So no hard decision to ban Maggie sales yet, but for quite some time it was closed. The sale was closed for some time. Since the decision was not harsh, so this is still there in the market. Some settlements were there. So this is the public liability insurance policy. If you have any questions in your mind, you can ask me now. If you have any questions in your mind, you can just ask. There are a number of policies. Many policies are already enforced. Public Liability Act, Public Liability Industrial, Commercial General Liability, Product Liability, Professional Indemnity Policy. Even this workman compensation policy is under the liability policies. So two kinds of policies are there, casualty lines and financial lines. But it depends upon the demand of the customer, what kind of policy he is looking for. Any questions? No. Okay, just check your mail ID. Have you received the test paper? Okay, please continue.